Hello friends, good afternoon to all of you. Today we are going to discuss on the third chapter, that is the crystal structure. So friends, related to this chapter, I have already sent to you one of the YouTube link in which all the information, starting information of the crystal structure which provided on that link. Today we are going to discuss whatever the part and whatever the terms which are introduced in our chapter as per our TY basis syllabus. So friends, let's start to discuss on it, that is the crystal structure. So friends, what is meant by the crystal and what is meant by their geometry? So friends, any material which material we got from the nature, that material are of the two types. First type is crystalline, oppose that solid material. The solid material, the first type is crystalline and second one is amorphous. So friends, as you know, there is a three state of matter. Nowadays the fourth state is also interrupt in the three state of matter, that is the solid, liquid, gases, and the fourth one is of course that is the plasma. And the solid material is divided into two parts. First is crystalline and another one is amorphous. So friend, what is meaning by the solid? You know the definition of solid. Yeah, the solid material is compact in nature. They have a specific geometry, specific shape and specific structure, and such a type of the material is known as the solid material. So friend, solid material are compact in nature, isn't it? Because their shape is perfect and we are able to pick up that. Also we are able to find out the specific arrangement which are present in the solid material as compared to the gases and liquid one. So friend, look toward this. The solid material is classified into two types. First is crystalline and another one is amorphous. Then what is a crystalline? Crystalline material means what? The material which possesses the specific geometry, specific shape, specific property, specific angles of that faces which are attached to each other. Such a type of material is known as the crystalline material. Okay? Their properties is fixed, related to their faces and angles, etc. Of course, the crystalline material are ordered. They are orderly arranged with each other, compact with each other, and they follow some particular arrangement. And such a material is known as the crystalline material. Crystalline material is also possess the sharp melting point, and that melting point is very specific for the different type of the crystal. Now look toward that amorphous material. This material, for example, the talcum powder, it is one of the very boric acid. It is very interesting example of the amorphous solid. Amorphous solid is also known as the supercooled liquid. Always remember, the amorphous solid is also known as the supercooled liquid. Friend, its arrangement is not proper. The size and geometry were not identified. They having not a particular geometry of their crystals. Their melting point is not sharp, and very high melting point is possessed by the amorphous solid. For example, glass, gum and rubber. Such a type of material is known as the amorphous solid. So friend, when our topic is concerned with the crystal structure, and therefore all the crystals are come under the head of crystalline solid. So friend, what is the crystal? Crystal is the solid material which possesses a definite shape, definite geometry. Their angle and faces are fixed is known as the crystal. So friend, when we learn about the crystal, then one question arises in our mind, that is what is the need to study the crystal? So friend, in the nature, number of crystalline material is available, and one thing is very important, that when you choose one of the crystal, you should remember that each crystal having the same geometry of theirs, the same material composition. So as per the knowledge, as per the arrangement and as per the chemistry, it's very important to study the crystal. And friend, nowadays the X-ray diffraction method is properly used to identify the crystal structure. So heat of crystallization and heat of fusion. Then what is the meaning of heat of crystallization? When any type of the liquid, when we cool that liquid at a constant pressure, that time what happened? We just remove the heat, and that time the liquid is converted into the solid phase. That time actually what happened? The science behind that is that the heat is evolved. Okay, heat is evolved. But how the heat is evolved? There is a two type of the energy forces. One is the translational energy, another one is the attractive forces. When we cool the liquid under the constant pressure, that time what happens? The translation energy is slowed down, and at the same time the attractive forces is increases. And when attractive forces is overcome on the translational energy, that time the liquid is converted to the solid, and that amount of the heat which has evolved during the crystallization is known as heat of crystallization. Means 1 mole of liquid is converted into the solid, and how much energy is evolved by that 1 mole of substance is known as the heat of crystallization. Another one is the heat of fusion. It is the vice versa definition of the heat of fusion. When we provide the energy, how much amount of the energy is absorbed by 1 mole of substance to convert into the liquid state is known as the heat of fusion. Number of times the definition had been asked in our examination. So friend, you should write down the notes in your notebook by using the textbook, and if you have any doubts regarding to this, please contact me. Now we are going toward the next point, that is the crystallography. Okay, crystallography. What is the meaning of crystallography? So friend, crystallography is a branch of science which furnishes us information about the geometry, properties and structure of the crystal. And crystalline substance is known as the crystallography. It is the special branch of science in which we just study about the crystal. So friend, geometrical crystallography deals with the outward spatial arrangement of the atoms or ions in the particular space is known as the crystallography. So friend, there is and it is not possible you just look the crystal and say this is the angle and this is this way. It's not like that. The crystallography is studied at very scientific way by using the 3 laws. The first law is Steno's law, another one is Hall's law, and third one is the law of symmetry. And in this video, we will be discuss step by step all the 3 laws. So friends, look toward the Steno's law. Steno's law. Steno was the eminent scientist who was established this law. And this law is nothing but the law of interfacial faces or angles is known as the Steno's law. Now look friend, this is one of the crystal diagram I just draw here for the simplification. And here 2 faces of any crystal. Suppose there is a one solid material, and that solid material is divided into the number of crystals. And when we study that crystal, that time what happened? Each crystal of that solid material possesses the same angle between the 2 faces. Possess the same angle between the 2 faces. Whether their length and whether their size may be different, but the 2 interfacial angles is always constant for the any crystal system of the same material is known as the law of interfacial angle is known as the Steno's law. If you have to take the hexagonal system or cubic system or tricubic system, and when you measure the angle. So friend, you always remember that any crystal system is formed by the 3 angles, and that angle is denoted by alpha, alpha, beta and gamma. Okay, the angle is from 0 to 90 degree, 120 degree, 360 degree is like this. And the size of that crystal is denoted by A, B, C with respect to the X, Y and Z direction. So friend, let's remember that the different crystal from the same material possess the same angles between two phases is known as the Steno's law. And there is one goniometer. Yeah, goniometer is one of the instrument. This instrument is very useful to measure the angles between the two faces of the crystal. Now friends, let's discuss on the second law, that is the Hall's law. So friend, this law is very interesting and important also. Hall's law is also known as the law of indices. Okay, law of indices. Then friends, rationality of indices. In detail we will be discuss this law to this side. I hope it's visible to you. So Hall's law is also known as the law of rationality of angles. So friend, here I just draw one of the diagram with by taking the X, Y and Z. This is the angle planes. This is the axis. And here I just draw one of the plane A, B and C. So friend, ABC is one of the plane and imaginary I just consider this plane is curved on X axis, on Y axis and Z axis. In which way? And by which way the plane is cutting, that way we will be consider it is a 1:1 ratio or 1:2 ratio with respect to the faces and size. So friend, there is the two rationality indices. First is base indices and second one is Miller indices. So base indices and Miller indices is nothing but the reciprocal to each other. So friend, A, B, C is the size of the faces is like this. And the size of the faces, how to cutting by that two axis is known as the indices. Suppose here I just take one of the plane, one of the cubic 16. Okay. And this cubic 16, I just take it by using the three axes X, Y and Z. So friend, let's consider that if I just use for simplification, I do this. Suppose friend, when we cut this plane to this one, that time what happened? That plane is cutting by that according to that axis with their size, with respect to their size. According to that, we have to calculate the indices for that particular crystal system. X, Y and Z if we consider. And here is one plane. And this plane is, I draw like this. Then friend, look toward that. This plane is parallel to the x-axis. This plane is cut to the x-axis at the half, and this plane is cut to the z-axis at the half. That time what happened? If this plane is parallel to the z-axis and this one, according to that, which plane is parallel, which plane is intercept to the to that particular x, and which plane is cannot intercept to any of the axes. On that basis, we have to find out the base and Miller indices. Suppose any one of the plane can cover the x, y and z axis. Such a type of the system indices is known as A, B, C. And you will be get the base indices like 1, 1, 1. Suppose one of the plane cannot intercept this is for the x-axis, this one for the y-axis, this one for the z-axis. Yes. So friend, here suppose if I consider this one of the plane, so this plane cannot correlate with the x-axis. Therefore, this plane is infinitely intersect to the x-axis. So at that time, what happen? At the x-axis, if they are parallel or not intersect, we will be write like this, and we will get 1 bar infinity 1 and 1. Suppose one of the plane cut that crystal. Suppose this is a crystal side, and one of the plane whatever I draw and which are cut to this plane at the middle of that particular axis. That time what happens? Suppose it is a z axis, and therefore I write like this, c by 2c. So I will get the indices here 1, 1, 1 by 2. Okay, I will get indices, but it is not proper, and therefore the Miller indices we will be considered, and Miller indices is nothing but the reciprocal of the base indices, and when we write this, we will get 0, 1, 1, and here 1, 1, 2. The reciprocal of these indices we will be get the Miller indices. So friend, in detail I will be showing some diagram and some notes regarding to the Hill's law, and it will be definitely understood by you, and if you have any difficulty, ask me related to the indices. But you should possess your full concentration when you study the Hill's law. Now last one is the law of symmetry. So friend, law of symmetry is also very important. There is the number of element of symmetry is studied by the crystal system, and here is the 3 symmetry we will be discussed here. The first one is the line of symmetry, second one is the axis of symmetry, and third one is the center of symmetry. So friend, look toward this diagram. I just draw it. I draw the cube. It's very simple for drawing. Okay. Now look toward, this is a simple cubic system, and when we discuss about the line of symmetry, then you just consider when we passes one of the imaginary line between that cube is like this. The two identical halves are formed is known as the line of symmetry, and the number of crystals possess the line of symmetry. Now next one is the axis of symmetry. So friend, here is also the same thing. It is the imaginary way. You just consider one of the axis is passes from the center of that crystal. Yeah, is like this. And when we rotate, you just imagine that the axis is passes through the center of the crystal, and when we rotate that 2 times, 3 times, when I rotate first and second, after 180 degrees centigrade, I will be get the same reflection of the crystal, and therefore it is the 2-fold axis of symmetry. And same thing that all type of the crystal, some crystal possess the 2-fold axis of symmetry, some crystal possess the 4-fold axis of symmetry, that depend upon the edge and angles of that crystal system. Now the last one is the center of symmetry. What is the meaning of center of symmetry? The center of symmetry is what? The imaginary point we have to consider at the center of the particular crystal, and we just imagine how they are when we cut like this, when we line like this, when we line like this, how many symmetrical or identical parts we will be get from that crystal is known as the law of symmetry, center of symmetry. So friend, here I just draw the cubic system, and cubic system possesses the 23 element of symmetry. So friend, it is the just introductory part of the chapter 3. In our next video, we will be discuss about the 7 basic crystal systems. Hope you understand this.